I am a trans man. I identify as a man. I was assigned and lived my life as a woman, female, until I was 39. If I had not transitioned, I may not be walking around right now. And the reason is trans people, their brain chemistry is that of the gender they identify with.
No, it isn't.
I have a man's brain.
No, you don't.
Neurons firing like a man's does. Genomes and DNA and genetics, and a trans woman, they identify as a woman because they have a woman's brain.
No, they don't.
Trans men have men's brains.
No, they don't.
Neurons firing. Now, you also have people that are anywhere in between and outside. And yes, that is confusing.
You guys spoke and I listened. I'm making all the bathrooms at my concerts not only gender neutral, but species neutral. I will be providing litter boxes in the bathrooms for all animal identifying concert goers on my tour. Now that's inclusivity in action.
That certainly is, folks. That's inclusivity in action. Way to go. That's what you do. Hey, you know what you should have? You should have had some kennels over there. You should have had some horse stalls for people to identify as horses. I mean, you know what? You should have maybe a pigsty for people that identify as pigs. Amazing, folks. Absolutely amazing.
And all of this is happening with this infectious idea that's taking over, of this idea of parents' rights, that parents have a right to know. They have a right to know if their child is going by a different name or using different pronouns in school. And the thing that keeps hitting me about this is that parents don't have rights, not parents' rights. Kids have rights. Individuals have rights. We have seen in our legal and justice systems that the decisions that parents make can be legally overridden by their children. Children who are old enough to understand a concept are old enough to provide their own independent consent to that.
This lady doesn't know what the frick she's talking about. This is one of those, again, I pray to God that this lady has no children of her own. But she's literally saying that the court systems have ruled in the favor of under the age children, under the minors, under the age of 18, have ruled in the favor of children the majority of the time against their parents, against parents' rights. These people are absolutely, you know what? They're insane. They're delusional. It's amazing how stupid, idiotic, moronic, and retarded these people are.
And if a kid knows what pronouns are, then frankly, they're able to consent to changing their own pronouns, and their parents do not need to be involved in that decision.
Go back the way you came from, Abdul. London, mate. London.
Of course.
Fucking London. Anglo-Saxon English.
Fuck the London.
So fuck off back to where you came from. You have no business here with a mask. No, you don't. Fuck off. Don't touch me, Abdul. I'll break in.
I'm going to ride hard for myself, and I'm going to say I'm a 10 out of 10, and I don't care who the has to say anything on this shit. You guys can call me ugly all you want, but you mother. Like, this question actually really bothers me. Like,
well, I mean, if let's say you're 5, let's say you're totally average, you're not particularly remarkable in any regard, and you think you're a 10, don't you think it'd be more confident to just be like, yeah, I'm a 5? What?
I kind of want to just bounce, to be honest. So.
Seriously?
Yeah,
because
just,
you're that triggered over this conversation?
I didn't do enough research on it.
Because we're talking about...
Leftists can't handle the truth, folks. All he said was that, hey, let's say you're average. Wouldn't you be more confident just say you're average than lie and say that you're a 10? I guess you could fake it till you make it, right?
Rating.
Talk about people's attractiveness.
That was like a pretty tame conversation. Like, she would not have liked what I was about to say.
Excuse us.
Oh, God.
How old is she?
They are 15 months old. We actually use they, them pronouns for gray until they tell us who they are. That's why you were like, who, what?
Oh, wow. Okay, so
They.
they.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the Pride Parade.
Did you say thank you? Thank you.
No, she didn't say thank you. Because she can't talk yet, probably.
We are pulling apart this idea of sex, which is related to genitals, and gender, which is related to how you move in the world. So what you wear, how you share your identity with other people, all of those things.
If you say you don't waste a line of questioning, I'm just giving you...
I love the mansplaining. I'm enjoying it.
You're loving what?
The mansplaining that's going on.
What
Well, just talking me through how by not answering the question, by repeating processes which are not related to the question that I've asked.
Because you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it's the slightly patronising and condescending way that you're responding to my questions.
Well, I would suggest, Senator, that if you're putting the word man in front of some description of what I'm doing, you're doing that which I'm sure you're very much against, is making a sexist implication about how I'm conducting my role as a man.
Well, then the easiest way to do it...
Is that what you're saying, Senator?
Well, what I'm saying is that the way you've been responding to me has been patronising and condescending, and I have responded to that. So the easiest way to deal with this is not to have that way in responding to the questions I've asked.
Imagine the reaction, Senator, if I said you were woman-splaining. You're saying that I'm mansplaining.
Well, it is a term that's used.
Is it by whom?
Well, it is a term that's used.
By rude...
Doesn't make
by rude
sense.
senators. By senators who are seeking to make gender an issue. Stop being a hypocrite.
Well,
Conduct yourself appropriately for this place.
I'm sorry you're so offended by the use of the word. It is a word that's used. I'm surprised that you're so shocked by the use of the word.
No, I'm just calling hypocrisy. Hypocrisy.
Well,
thy name is Labor. Thy name is Senator Gallagher.
No! Go away! Don't touch my fucking truck! I touched his truck. Oh my God, he's so scary.
So, do you think that when you shake ass in the camera and stuff, like, men are gonna look at this and be like, you know, that's a girl who I want to make my wife?
I don't give a fuck. I don't want these. Let me tell you something, baby. I was raised by my father. Fuck you niggas. I date one of you niggas and I keep two in the chamber.
So
at all times. Fuck you niggas. I don't give a fuck. I'm my wife.
Do you not want to be a wife one day, though? Do you not want to be a wife one day, though?
When I'm old, when you shake ass, I need to know your connotation of wife. Yeah. Because I'm a lot of niggas' wife. Okay. But I'm a lot of niggas' type.
Do you have a ring?
I got plenty of rings. Bitch, I forgot to put my other pinky ring on. I might stop. Let me put the light on that shit.
That's speech 6. Them, zers, themself. Chris.
What are pronouns?
Those are pronouns.
Oh, God.
Pronouns. You have 62.
There are some people that were talking about reparations in this country. They wanted reparations. And I remember I made this particular liberal so angry at me because I told them right to their face, nobody owes you anything for slavery. If you want to tell the truth about it, it is you who owes. It's you who owes. Why do you owe? Because somebody in those fields took stripes for you. Somebody after those fields were ended and slavery was ended, somebody had to walk through Jim Crow for you. Somebody fought wars and died for you. Somebody lived less than because they didn't have what you have, and they did it for you. There are people in their graves right now, and they are there because they were willing to stand up and fight for you. Those folks on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, carrying American flags, take that, Colin Kaepernick, living in a society that he could scarcely acknowledge, something that he has never known, living with a bigotry that none of us can imagine, carrying American flags on that bridge. And when they were hit upside the head with nightsticks and shot with water hoses and knocked to the ground, they got up and picked those flags up and kept marching. And they did it for you. Nobody owes you anything. If anybody owes, it's you, because you've been the benefactor of freedom. You are the one that owes. And what do you owe? You owe it to them to get up off your tail and get to school. And when you get to school, you owe it to them to get up off your tail at school. And
Man, this is an unbelievable speech by Mark Robinson, who is currently the lieutenant governor of the state of North Carolina and is running for governor for the state of North Carolina in this year's elections. And he just made an absolutely powerful, powerful speech. People in this day and age, in the year 2024, whatever you want to call them, whether they're Black Americans or marginalized people or, people of color. You are not owed a single damn thing. Nothing. Zip, zero, zilch, nada. But you owe everything. You can't even begin to pay back what the people that came before you went through so that you could have the freedom and the liberties that you have now. These people today, can you imagine the millennials and the Gen Zers of today? If they had to be living in the 40s and 50s or back in the 1800s, could you imagine them? They couldn't survive. Could you imagine them, one of these millennial Gen Zers surviving for even 5 minutes in a cotton field? Just standing in a cotton field, not even doing anything, just standing in a cotton field. Couldn't do it, folks. Couldn't do it. Amazing speech. Amazing speech. Mark Robinson owned those people. And he was speaking at the GOP convention. But he was triggering to a bunch of leftists, a bunch of liberals, a bunch of Democrats. Good for him. Good for him. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Take a look at our video links above and below. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.